Welcome. This is Christian from Hertz Tribeca Trade Group with your end of day recap for Tuesday the 18th. Well, this was one of the stories of the day. You got Netflix, one of the first big technology companies or consumer discretionary companies, I guess you would call it, reporting earnings and up 11.5%. So not only was this the story of the day, but it took a lot of names with it. So a lot of the momentum names were really well bid today. This is FDN. This is the Internet ETF. I look at this ETF a lot because there's no FANG ETF. So this is the closest thing to it. When you look at the components, Amazon, Facebook, PayPal's now jumped up in here to be one of the top five, but Amazon, Facebook, Netflix, Google. When you add up Google, it's actually 8%. So up here with Amazon and Facebook. So this is really a good proxy for the FANG stock. So up and away these names went. Amazon, which I got long yesterday, new 52-week high in Amazon up 1.4%. So I was looking for a run into next week's earnings. So I actually purchased some weekly call options, call spreads for 313 and took a target today. I actually added it this morning at $2 and took the thing off for 650. So I'm holding one final piece of this because it is now through my upper strike. I own the 1015, 1025 call spread that expires on Friday. So as long as it kind of stays here, which of course is easier said than done, I should be collecting some more money on that. Same thing with Google. Google started to actually got above the value area. So this one has, I wouldn't say struggling, but this one got hit a little bit harder when the tech sell off, the little tiny tech sell off that we saw a couple weeks back. And then Facebook, just a monster at this point, up another 2%. Apple still trying to kind of gather a little bit of steam here. It is slowly been grinding up. We have been seeing call buying in Apple yesterday and a little bit this morning, but it was more about the momentum plays and the Chinese internets. We continue to see a lot of call buying in this group. So new 52-week high for the KWeb ETF, just unbelievable call buying in JD.com. This name had a monster day, 3.3%, kind of using the same adjectives here, but man, has it been stellar in this group. BABA also 52-week high. So, people are really kind of allocating their money over here because, this wasn't. If you look at the overall market, first of all, SPY was basically flat for the day. So really, just nothing going on in the major index. Still, you have an MACD crossover and still grind higher, but look at the outperformance in the Qs today. They're getting close to a 52-week high as well. I've talked about how there's been 8 straight days of inflows going into the Qs ETF, and it's almost been the biggest daily inflow of any ETF. Couple days it has been. So that's the best performers. What else can I mean, NTES, just, a whole group of these have been seeing some call buying. WUBA, we saw call buying in yesterday and a little bit of weakness. Keep in mind this China Internet Group was the best performing last week out of any group. Up 7%, unless you're going to talk about, an emerging market ETF. But, a lot of what's in KWeb is Chinese ADR. So I view that as a sector ETF. So really, really strong. I guess it's not exactly a sector ETF, but it kind of just fits with a thematic group. So besides those groups, the solar names also, TAN. This name is also, it doesn't say 52-week high, but it kind of looks like it. I've been long for solar, so I'm capitalizing on this name. There was, speaking of JD.com, if you haven't seen our video, I put out a video on, I believe it was, I'm forgetting the date. I think it was 6:15. I just looked at the performance a couple hours ago since I put that trade idea video out, and JD.com is up 12% since we put that video out when we saw call buying up. About a month ago at this point. So really nice, strong performance. I feel like I'm missing a couple of these other names, but just to kind of show you the performance of KWEB. That's not what I'm looking for. Movers. So yeah, YRD has been another name. YY, which was up big yesterday. TAL was up 4.8%. 1%. So it just kind of goes on and on. VIPS, which saw some weekly call buying, Momo was up 3%. So this whole group looks like it's really flying. These are the ones that have ADRs. Look at the locals, were actually down a bit, but really, really strong. So it wasn't this case all over the place today. We kind of look at some earnings. It's a little bit of a head scratcher, I would say, with what's going on besides Netflix so far with what we've seen for earnings. A lot of companies are turning in some pretty good quarters, but they're not getting rewarded. Their stock price is not rewarding it for them. Kind of similar if you look at after hours today. If you look at United Airlines, they had good earnings, I believe. CSX also had good earnings, and they're now down. So something seems to be amiss here, and I can't really put my finger on it, but it seems like besides Netflix, the the names that are non-tech, because we haven't really seen, besides Netflix, we really just haven't seen all the tech players come out here. But it seems like there's a lot of fades that are going on here. UNH had good earnings. They did end up higher on the day, but kind of a fade. Johnson and Johnson, oh, they actually ended up higher on the day. Sorry, I watched them earlier go down, but so it seems like once again it's kind of been the same story in terms of sectors separating, but I'm having a little bit difficult time trying to rationale why some of these names are going down after earnings. Maybe it's their guidance, maybe it's something that they're saying on their earnings call. So we need more information. It's only been a couple days, since some of the big names have been reporting. Obviously, we get a full calendar, especially Thursday. If I can bring this up, if it will work. Sometimes there's a delay with this, but if you look at just earnings releases, it really starts to pick up later in the week where we get a lot of names reporting. eBay's out, Visa is out later in the week. UNP reports, Honeywell reports. So we're going to get more of a feel before I really jump to any conclusions about so far with this. And then next week some of the real big heavy hitters report as well. But so it should be interesting Thursday. I feel like there's one other name that I was looking at. Maybe Skyworks is also reporting. For today's earnings trades, I played an IBM short, which looks like it's starting to get to my strike. And then this is the only bank name I've played so far for all the earnings. I really haven't wanted any part of them. But since all of them have gone down for the most part, or have given back some of those early gains, I played Morgan Stanley for a long tomorrow. Again, it seems like the group has kind of gotten beaten up a little bit, so maybe we'll get one that pops here. So I gave it a shot. This is the first one that I've played for earnings on the bank, on the financial side. So we'll see what happens there. And that's it. Pretty much stay tuned. I would say also, the one thing that I thought was notable in terms of weakness was the home builders. They fell pretty hard on what I considered not that bad of a report. We do have some housing data. By the way, VRTX, what a move after hours. This name's, I think, up $30. Biotech name is up $30. So huge home run for this name with a new drug. So this brought XBI up after hours. I don't own any VRTX. I wish I did, but nice move there, helping biotech after hours. So where was I going? I was going to show not VRTX, but yes. So we do have tomorrow. We'll see if this, if this 64 versus 67. Again, I thought it was a little bit of an overreaction to see these home builders really sell off hard on this number at 10 o'clock today. The overall market kind of dipped on this a little bit as well. So keep an eye on these numbers. We have housing starts and building permits tomorrow at 8:30 in the morning. If you remember what happened last month, then they really bombed in terms of a number. So the housing starts were much worse than expected last month. So we may have a little bit of a problem if this number continues to be poor in terms of economics. One area that's showing some weakness, because again, last month it was negative 5.5% on the housing starts month over month, and building permits also missed. So I'm really interested to see what's going to happen tomorrow with this number. Maybe it's starting to show a crack in one area of the market. So I'll be watching that number tomorrow at 8:30. We'll go over that in the trading room tomorrow. Everybody have a great night, and I'll see you tomorrow morning. Thanks.